You got here. Welcome. My given name is Olive K, which means my initials are O.K. Not perfect, just okay. And I'm also a sober alcoholic since September 11th, 1981. But unless you're also a recovering alcoholic, I maybe don't look like an alcoholic to you. Alcoholics, at least according to the movies, live in cardboard boxes underneath highway bridges, and they drink out of bottles hidden inside paper bags. I wasn't like that. I couldn't identify with that image, so I could not possibly believe I was an alcoholic, but I was. I still am. The only difference is I no longer drink. The Hollywood image that we all have is of the alcoholic suffering the final stages of our chronic terminal illness. In the early stages of alcoholism, we look a lot like everybody else. So stay with me here and learn some stuff. I don't know much, but I do know something about staying sober through the good times and the bad. And if that's of any interest to you or someone you know, time to go grab yourself a mug of coffee and hang out with me longer. That's much better. I'm going to now offer you some facts about alcoholism. Way back in the 1950s, the American Medical Association identified it as a 3-part disease with recognizable symptoms as it progresses from the first stage to the last. One symptom in all 3 stages is the phenomenon of craving, where taking one drink of anything containing the drug ethanol, which is the drug found in every alcoholic drink, even beer, immediately sets off a craving for a second drink, and then more. In Ireland, this is sometimes called having the thirst. And the Irish also gave us the perfect description for the 3 progressive stages of alcoholism. Here's that quote. The man takes a drink. The drink takes a drink. The drink takes the man. Or in my case, it took the woman. Some alcoholics never leave the house from the time they first start drinking. Others only go home after the bars close. So there are no absolutes on behavior, but there are recognizable alcoholic symptoms in all 3 stages of the disease. A stage 1 alcoholic, however, is the hardest one to spot, and that stage lasts the longest period of time. He or she pretty much looks like any other social drinker, with perhaps more drunken episodes than most. Not always. A lot of 20-somethings look like potential alcoholics. But by their 30s, the non-alcoholic drinkers tend to settle down a lot. They drink a lot less. They focus on their families and their careers. 30-something alcoholics, however, don't want the party to end, and will go find new drinking buddies among the younger crowd. We've all seen them in the bars, the older woman hanging out with the young guys, or the older guy hanging out with the pretty young girls. I'm not saying they're alcoholics, but when it looks like a duck. Anyway, stage 1 alcoholism lasts for approximately 2 decades, unless we boost the process with other drugs, which most of us do. And that can rapidly speed up the time frame. There's a lot of young people today that plow right through stage 1 into stage 2 in less than 5 years, sometimes a lot less. And there are a lot of teenagers today who are already in recovery from alcohol addiction long before they see their 21st birthday, legal drinking age in a lot of places. But for those of us who stay in stage 1 into our 40s or late 30s, we'll embarrass ourselves a lot, many times. We'll cause problems in our families, possibly pick up a drunk driving charge or 2. And we will definitely become the least favored employee at the holiday office party. But we will almost always hold down a job too, and maybe even flourish in a high-powered career. We will appear to others as being pretty much living the same lives as our co-workers, but the chaos behind closed doors at home can now start to get pretty ugly. And then stage 2 arrives. It brings with it even more problems and bigger ones. more blackouts, along with hangovers from hell that are actually bouts of alcohol poisoning because our poor livers can't handle it anymore. They can't take our intake. Stage 2 also offers us more anxiety, deepening depression because ethanol is a depressant drug. We have suicidal thoughts, and often the discovery that a drink first thing in the morning takes away all that. So 24/7 drinking now begins for a lot of us in stage 2. And here's something that's really weird, okay? Many alcoholics truly believe that vodka is the perfect drink because nobody can smell it when they're drinking it. If you drink rum or scotch or any of the others, you can smell that, but nope, not vodka. Spoiler alert, they could smell it. Trust me on this. Anyway, I always had alcoholic blackouts when I drank, but their numbers increased for me a lot in stage 2. And not all alcoholics have them, but no non-alcoholics have them, so it's a symptom. They might pass out from hitting the bottle too hard, but once they're out, they're out. Alcoholics can sometimes pass out too, but when we're in a blackout, we're another breed of cat entirely because we keep on going, and the going often gets dangerous. The late, great Robin Williams, he said, he called blackouts sleepwalking with activities. Because an alcoholic in a blackout is suffering from a drink-induced form of amnesia, in which an alcoholic can walk and talk, dance, have sex, drive cars, start fights, attack our partners, smash furniture, threaten others, shoot guns, or act out on airplanes. But when we finally sober up from those events, we won't remember it. We will have zero memory of any of it. We won't remember it then, and we will not remember it ever. Here's the thing, spouses and partners and police officers and judges and EMS workers and nurses and doctors, they don't believe that. After all, that's never happened to them when they drank. They don't believe it. And that's a big part of the reason that so many drunks get sent to jail. They actually needed treatment for addiction. A lot of ignorance about our disease out there. Toward the end of stage 2 alcoholism, as we get closer to stage 3, we become far more secretive about our intake. We start hiding our bottles, both the full ones and the empties. We stop at different stores so others won't know how much we're drinking, how much booze we're buying. We toss our empty bottles into our neighbor's garbage cans after dark for the same reason. We drink alone, in the car, in public restrooms, garages, or we even go out back to the alley late at night for a quick one. Those bottles next door. Stage 2 alcoholism is much shorter than the first stage. It lasts only 5 or 6 years. Our constant companions in stage 2 are guilt, shame, regret, fear. It's a crap place to be. Nothing makes sense because drinking, which used to be our fun place, now has become a scary place. We continue to drink to try to recapture our earlier pleasure. Drinking no longer works. News is, it's not going to ever work again. I know you've heard the definition of insanity being doing the same things over and over again while expecting different results. That's every alcoholic in stage 2 alcoholism. Stage 3, when it shows up, that's late stage Hollywood style alcoholism. And it's when we discover, despite now wanting to quit drinking, can't. This can also show up near the end of stage 2, but it always shows up in the final stage. This is when alcohol gradually replaces food, because our only appetite now is for ethanol. We may no longer want it, but our bodies continually crave it. We shake when we don't have it. We feel beyond ill when we don't have it. Must have a drink. Another. Because it takes away the physical, emotional, and mental pain. Our families and friends have pretty much given up on us by this time. So we isolate from society in stage 3, but we keep on drinking. Our eyes get yellow, the white parts. Our livers bloat up. Our abdomens swell up. But the rest of our body looks like a skeleton. We're not taking in any food. Delirium tremens, the DTs, can occur anytime in that stage, and they bring hallucinations. Some of them are pretty scary too. So with terror now our constant companion, suicide becomes an option. And many of us alcoholics use it to check out stage. There are only 3 possible outcomes for us once we reach stage 3. 1, we develop a wet brain. It means our minds fail us and we get locked away in a rubber room somewhere wearing adult diapers for the rest of our lives. 2, we die. Horribly. Either by our own hand or the direct outcome of alcoholism. It kills us. Or 3, we have a moment of clarity in the madness. We make the decision we want to live, seek help. I'm not trying to scare anybody sober, but I'm not making any of this stuff up either. Alcoholism is a truly horrible affliction, and yet it's one that somehow remains society's least understood illness. But there's still good news in all this. No alcoholic has to reach stage 3 before getting help. We can get out of the hell of alcoholism in any stage of our disease, and we do it by choosing recovery. There's an example that I've heard used, and it talks about, let's say you're in a party on the top floor of a building, outside even, up on the top deck. The view is beautiful. The people are there, they're lovely, there's plenty to drink, there's good music, everybody's having a good time. Then a little later on, you end up in the elevator going down a couple floors to see what's going on down there. And yeah, there's another party. There's another party happening, and you see a few people there, and you have a good time. And then you take the elevator again and go down a little further, and this place isn't quite so nice. And some of the people there you might not normally hang out with, but there's plenty to drink, and music's pretty good. So you hang out a little longer. And you progressively go down another floor and another floor and another floor, and when you hit stage 3, you're in the parking garage, But nobody has to go down to the parking garage. You can get off at any floor. Choose recovery. So in my next video, I'm going to be talking about recovery. But till then, if you think it may be time to maybe stop drinking, even for just a while, in whatever venue you choose to, hold tightly to this one thought. Every recovery from alcoholism begins with 1 sober hour. You can do this. Nothing special about me, and I've done it. And if I can do it, you can do it. Keep sober. See you next time.